Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Adam. Welcome back to the channel. I love talking about movies and entertainment type of stuff. So if that's what you like to, hop in that comment section, join the conversation there, hit that subscribe button as well. Today we're going to be talking about one of my most anticipated films. It's funny to say that sentence after I've seen this film, but we're talking about Hellboy 2019 edition, starring David Harbour from Stranger Things fame, starring as our favorite red-handed fisted character of Hellboy. This film was directed by Neil Marshall, a guy who has worked on Game of Thrones, which is a show I absolutely adore and love, and the last season is coming out this weekend. So there's a lot of hype and anticipation for this movie for me because I'm a big fan of the Del Toro films as well. If you've been following my channel, I have reviewed those films on the channel, so make sure you guys check the gimmicks above my head. They'll be popping up momentarily. Anyway, Hellboy 2019 sees our heroes try to take down a blood witch. This blood witch, in the past, her body has been separated by King Arthur, and there's a force of people trying to bring that body together to have her bring back her mighty power so they can dominate the world once again. Hellboy and his crew are trying to take and stop that from happening. Let's get my positives out of the way rather quickly. I think David Harbour does a pretty good job. He definitely owns this role, and he feels different than Perlman's version of the character. I feel like Perlman has some dry sense of humor, but also relatability to him. I didn't feel so relatable to David Harbour's version of Hellboy. However, he is definitely more muscular. I mean, not masculine, but muscular version than Perlman. He has a wit about him that it's not as dry as Perlman's version, but he definitely has more out of the box kind of sense of humor. And he has this presence, and he definitely commands the room when he's involved. And I think David Harbour definitely went for it in this role. He is traditionally not behind the scenes, but kind of a B-level cast member. He's always playing supporting characters. He wasn't even a main character in Stranger Things, but that's what a lot of people know him from. But this one he actually gets a leading role, and I think he definitely runs with it. Milla Jovovich, who I know her mostly from Resident Evil fame. I know she's played in a couple of things like The Fourth Kind as well. She plays the Blood Witch in here, and I think she definitely goes for it as well. She tries to give it her all, and I think she does a pretty good job as this character. You know, she's not the greatest actress. Actually, Milla Jovovich also was in Fifth Element, and that's probably the movie I should be mentioning except The Fourth Kind. Anyway, she definitely tries to step out a lot and plays this menacing figure of the Blood Witch. Did a pretty decent job here. I drew similarities from Milla's performance here from Sofia Boutella's The Mummy from a few years ago in that Dark Universe fiasco there. Definitely see kind of a comparison in a sense. Very kind of stoic kind of performance there, but also she has a clear plan and clear vision to take back what she feels is hers. So you definitely can see that. Other cast members in here, I think Ian Mcshane is playing Ian Mcshane. He's pretty much playing the same character he's in John Wick and even in Game of Thrones there. That's a pretty good little tie-in. He's a good actor. Every time he's on screen, I like the movies he's in, so I'm not going to complain about Ian Mcshane, but he's playing the same kind of character. I also thought that there's certain elements in this film, like the action sequences are filmed in completely differently than any other Hellboy movies there is, and I think that's definitely from the scope of Neil Marshall. He has directed some really good episodes of Game of Thrones, so having a different kind of take on some action sequences, I think it works in this film relatively well. And I also enjoy some of the special effects in here. But that's pretty much what I have to say about my positives for this film. And I'm kind of mostly disappointed, to be honest with you. Like I said, this is one of my most anticipated films, and I thoroughly enjoy the Del Toro version of the movies. And going into this film, it's tough to do from a standpoint of you're kind of judging apples to oranges here. You have to look at these films completely different. Do not go in there trying to think these Del Toro films and these Neil Marshall film and try to make it compare the two, because it doesn't work. You're definitely going to be disappointed that way. So try to start your brain off from that comparison thing. But it's really hard. And for me, the things I really didn't like about this was didn't feel. I felt like there's a disconnect here. I think that they were trying to push the envelope for that R rating, and I didn't think they necessarily needed to. There was some sequences here that were overly violent, and there's a lot of crazy killing in here that just it was tough. Especially I like getting popcorn in the theater, and it was tough. I was like, oh goodness, ooh, that didn't look right to me. I didn't like that. So that there is that kind of stuff. However, those action sequences are pretty put together really well, so that goes into a positive pile. However, one of the big things that kind of really rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm not trying to go into spoilers, no worries about spoilers here, it kind of reminded me in a way of Iron Man 2. Feels like there's a lot of setup for other future films here, and even in the climatic battle, it feels rather easy, kind of like in Iron Man 2 when they took down Whiplash's character in that film. However, in this one, it's a little tougher than Whiplash, granted, but it seems kind of easier. Another thing that kind of really rubbed me the wrong way is this sense of humor the film tries to have. I felt like in this one, there's not really subtlety. They definitely tried to just try to be funny, and the jokes didn't land really well with me, and I just didn't care for it. The writing, I guess that goes into the writing too. It feels very kind of, monologue-y. They definitely just try to explain stuff. They have a lot of exposition here. There's a character trying to tell his story about what happened to him, why he got a certain scar on his face, and he's just talking through the whole thing. Instead of showing us what happens, they try to show, but they just clearly go over that voiceover there, and there's so much exposition in this thing. I just want to see what's happening instead of being told what's happening. I'm not a dumb moviegoer. I can understand stuff that's happening on a screen. I can put the pieces together, and this movie just treats me like I'm kind of dumb and just tries to tell me everything. I don't like that at all. Even though there was some good concepts in this one, I felt like they definitely missed the mark, and there was definitely a disconnect with me, the filmmakers, and the audience. The audience here, it seemed like a couple people left the theater before the movie even stopped, and the credits rolled. And to be honest with you, I really have a sour taste in my mouth about this movie. I'm really conflicted because I think there's potential here, but wasted potential is not a good thing. So right now, I think this is one of my least favorite films that I've watched in all of 2019, and that's really sad for me because I do like the character of Hellboy. I would like to see another film, and hopefully they can correct some of the issues and some of the disconnect that this film is having with audience members. I don't like to be negative. I want to be positive, and I do see some positive things in this film.